I've been observing these near daily protests over the past couple of years, and what's most shocking to me is the discrepancy between how the CBC, CTV, our state propaganda news outlets in Canada report on what's going on versus what I actually see in the streets. These are people who are putting fake body bags on the ground, walking around with fake blood on their hands, masks, many of them, you can only see the slits of their eyes, acting in menacing, violent manners towards anybody who doesn't immediately bow down to them. These are violent, angry mobs with police escorts walking down our streets on a daily basis. And I truly, because they've walked by me so frequently in Ottawa, their route, I live downtown, they shut down our downtown core in Ottawa on a nearly daily basis. I have been observing this. I'm surprised there's been as little pushback as there has. So many businesses have been disrupted on a nearly daily basis. We're seeing tens of thousands of people walking down our streets, shutting down the street, yelling some of the most vile stuff you've ever heard. And then I'll turn on CBC or CTV, and they must be so careful about what footage they put out there. It's truly state propaganda because they don't show. So I see so many disturbing things happening on a daily basis at these so-called peaceful protests. I assure you, these are not peaceful protests. I'm sure some of the people at the protests are peaceful, but there are many young men, young masked men, you can only see the slits of their eyes walking. I don't scare easily. I can tell you honestly, they are attempting to be intimidating and menacing. They want you to bow down to them. If you give any indication that you aren't fully aligned with the cause, they will physically intimidate you and yell threats at you, and the police just roll out the red carpet and say, absolutely, go for it. Hey, I've read my goddamn Charter of Rights and Freedoms. I, as a Canadian citizen, I have family that died in goddamn World War II fighting for this country. I'm allowed to walk down a public street and record what is going on. I don't know what the law is in these Middle Eastern countries. You're probably not allowed to do so there, but that's what makes us better in Canada. Our Charter of Rights and Freedoms are guaranteed. What's the major issue that we're seeing is a lot of these people are showing up to Canada, and rather than integrating, which is what used to happen with immigration, they're coming here and they're trying to tell us that we need to adopt their way of life. Hell no. If you show up in our country, you have to adopt our way of life. If I showed up in Palestine, in Afghanistan, wherever it may be, I'd be respectful. And I would say, I'm going to follow your traditions. That's the exact opposite of what's happening here. We as free Canadian citizens are allowed to walk down our streets and record what's going on. And Canadians, I just want you to be aware, what you're seeing on the news every night, what CBC, which is the worst state propaganda, puts out and acts as though these rallies are just these peaceful, friendly groups trying to raise awareness. That could not be further from the truth. I know Canadians haven't seen it live and up close. I've lived in Montreal and Ottawa, two hotbeds for these things over the past couple of years. But seeing these disruptive protests on a nearly daily basis, I assure you, what's happening in our streets is much worse than what the media is showing you. These are masked thugs who are intentionally acting in an intimidating manner, and they are not here in Canada to acclimate. They are here in Canada to take over. If Canadians do not wake up soon enough, we are in major trouble in this country, major trouble. If you're interested in supporting me, hit the link in my bio, donate, grab some gear, subscribe to my Substack. I'm going to be setting up rallies in mid-September because we as Canadians need to physically hit the streets. These guys are in our goddamn streets every day. I know there's a lot of proud, patriotic Canadians out there. We need to hit the streets because clearly our government doesn't listen to us. 75% of Canadians say we're seeing too much immigration. What do they say? 2025, after allowing 8 million in the past decade, they say, okay, we're going to let another million in. They don't listen to us. They do not listen to the Canadian people. Our democracy has become a total sham. It's a total sham. So stay tuned. We patriotic Canadians are going to hit the streets.